Basketball on the Big Ten Network is powered by Ram Trucks. And tonight in Evanston, the Northwestern Wildcats are home to take on the Rutgers Scarlet Knights. And Rutgers playing a little short-handed tonight. One of their top two scorers, in fact, their second leading scorer, Dylan Harper, not playing tonight. Ankle injury. You see the boot on the right ankle. He is out for the evening. We welcome you courtside alongside my partner, Stephen Bardo. I'm Kevin Kugler. No Dylan Harper. We're all disappointed about that. Love to see everybody at their full strength, but we do have the top two scorers in the conference going head-to-head tonight.
Yeah, you talk about Ace Bailey, the super freshman from Rutgers. This is a young man that hit Indiana on the road for 39 points. Extremely talented, can go get it. He makes tough shots. On the other side, Nick Martinelli, the Big Ten marathon man, leads in minutes played. He hit 32 points at Dayton. So both of these guys are big-time performers. They do it a little differently, but both are very effective.
We'll check our starting lineups powered by Ram Trucks. Obviously, Ace Bailey and Nick Martinelli are in those lineups. But how about Jordan Durkak coming off a 26-point performance against Michigan State? And Rutgers, to get a win on the road, is going to probably need maybe not 26, but a good performance again tonight for Durkak.
Yeah, he was extremely aggressive in the Garden, and I think that playing in the Garden was something he always wanted to do. And for Rutgers fans, hopefully he wants to play in Welsh Ryan Arena tonight, because without Dylan Harper, they're probably going to need his offensive output. Now for our viewers, Kevin, I want them to pay attention. Northwestern has gotten off the slow starts the last two games. They've been fantastic in the second half of games, but they've buried themselves a little bit. Let's see if they can get off to a faster start.
Well, we watched a very spirited shoot-around, the practice before the game today. We'll see if that lit a fire under these Wildcats.
It would have lit a fire under me, I tell you that.
I went out and ran through a wall afterwards. Here's Nick Martinelli, turning the corner and gets to the baseline, in and out. Great look, though. Chris Collins is not going to be unhappy with that.
Not at all. Look at Durkak.
End-to-end. A little strong offensive rebound. Nathan Somerville, he's got his first two.
Yeah, I like when Jordan Durkak is that aggressive. It takes pressure off Bailey and allows the guys to kind of settle in a little bit.
There's Nicholson. Certainly not going to shoot it from out there. Has not even attempted a three. Jalen Leach will shoot it from anywhere, as will Angelo Cheravino. 7 to shoot. Northwestern going to work with Martinelli again. Into the paint. Left-hand hook won't go. Tip try won't go, and there's Ace Bailey for the rebound.
This is what Ace Bailey can do. He can get the defensive glass and initiate the break.
Top-scoring freshman in all of Division I basketball, averaging 19.8 points per game.
Yeah, he's special. And when he gets a little bit stronger, Kevin, it's going to be a problem. We may not see that added strength in college, but he's going to be a problem.
Here's Jeremiah Williams, the Chicago native, turning the corner and drawing the contact and the foul. He'll head to the free throw line for a pair. Now Steve Peichel, arms folded, looking around. He'd like to look to his bench and find Dylan Harper. He knows he's there, but he's not playing tonight. But they were working a lot today in their shoot-around. He ran a lot of different stuff for this team.
Yeah, they did. And you know, you want this team, a lot of expectations, preseason expectations, and it seems as though they have not lived up to those. But Steve Peichel has established his program at Rutgers, and it's been a consistent one.
I'm going to keep an eye on Jeremiah Williams. He was not at the Rutgers shoot-around earlier today. He was battling on a little bit of a flu bug last night, missed both free throws there. You talked with him before the game, though, and he wasn't going to miss this game on his home turf.
No. To come back home to Chicago and get a chance to play in front of 25 friends and family, he was not going to miss that opportunity. Now, this is a pretty good matchup. Durkak and Barnheiser. Durkak has the size to kind of battle Brooks a little bit.
Cheravino on the drive off the window to get Northwestern on the board.
And Cheravino, he is a good-looking freshman. Bouncy, long, plays hard. Chicago Catholic League. Watch Lathan on the roll here.
They find Dylan Grant, and Grant Missing badly, and that's out of bounds. Off the fingertips of Lathan Somerville. Chris Collins, the 5th longest tenured Big Ten coach. This is a really important stretch for his team. 3 straight home games starting tonight to try to get back on the right side of the ledger in the Big Ten Conference. Tough lob. Nicholson's fouled. He'll go to the line.
And Kevin, to your point, the last 28 games, home games for Northwestern, they are 25-3 in this building. One of the tougher places to come get a victory here in Welsh Ryan. So Northwestern understanding they've got to hold serve here at home.
Well, you see Purdue and Nebraska the only better at home the last 2 seasons, but Rutgers spoiled Nebraska's long home win streak a couple of weeks ago, going into Lincoln and breaking a 20-game winning streak at home for Nebraska. So Rutgers is not going to be daunted by playing on an opponent's floor that has been good to that opponent.
Great point. And I believe they hit 12 threes in that game.
They were very aggressive. Now, they also had Dylan Harper in that game,
yes,
which helps any team to have Dylan Harper.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
Matthew Nicholson with one more at the charity stripe, and the 48% shooter goes 2 for 2.
Senioritis. That's what I call it. These guys understand they may have 10, 11 regular season games left. Everything becomes much more important.
And that calendar is about to flip to February.
Yep. Oh, Williams missed Bailey coming off that screen.
He'll drop it down low, and a nice right to left for Dylan Grant.
And you know what, Kevin, I think it helps Rutgers that they know that Dylan isn't playing tonight. So it's like, hey, don't look to the bench. You know, figure it out on your own.
Just gets that one across the timeline, and now Martinelli in the scramble finds Barnheiser for 3, and that's short. Barnheiser able to get his own rebound, though.
Well, Leach has been hot the last couple games.
Oh, that's why. 3 straight games in doubles, 17 points per game in that span. Steven, he's been driving to the rim, but he's also been good from 3.
He has. And what I want to tell our viewers, when these players transfer, I don't care if they're seniors, I don't care how old they are, it takes time to get adjusted to where you are. And it's taken Leach a little bit of time to get comfortable, but boy, is he now.
Well, I think that's a great point. Where you are means a lot of different things, not only with the teammates as a double dribble turns it over, but he's in a brand new city,
yes,
brand new campus, yes, brand new classes. He doesn't know where anything is.
No, and that's the whole thing, Kevin. We think these young people are supposed to adjust quickly. It doesn't happen like that.
Steven and I, we adjust rapidly to any situation. That's makes us versatile.
Especially if it's free or we get paid.
Leach for 3.
Well, Steve Peichel not happy with that coverage right there, allowing Leach that open look. I guess Northwestern answered the bell here to start the game. Very aggressive.
Too aggressive there for Barnheiser as he reaches in on Ace Bailey and commits the personal foul. Timeout on the floor, and Jalen Leach, 5 quick points to pace Northwestern early. A lot of local connections for the Rutgers Scarlet Knights here in Chicago. Jeremiah Williams, Simeon High School grad. That's his family. He's got 20 to 25 folks in the stands. Lathan Somerville's family. He's from Peoria. Rich Woods High School was the runner-up for Illinois' Mr. Basketball Award in his senior season when he averaged just 26 points, 14 rebounds, and 4.5 blocks a game.
Dominant. And he's got the potential to be a dominant big here in the Big Ten Conference, in my opinion. High motor for a guy that big.
Williams finds Bailey in the corner, short on the 3, and McCarron to Martinelli.
Bailey knew it as soon as he left his hands that it was going to be short.
How's his game changed without Harper out there to draw attention?
You know, that's a great question, Kevin, because what happens is Dylan Harper, we see Martinelli on the easy bucket. Dylan Harper makes everybody's buckets easier. And so if he's not out there, they've got to run more sets to get Bailey the basketball where he wants it, especially along the right baseline.
And we saw them working through so many of those sets earlier today, watching them go to work before this game.
Ooh, good look.
And Somerville off the back iron, used every bit of rim, but couldn't get it to drop.
Boy, that was a sweet dime, though, by Ace Bailey.
7-0 Northwestern run.
Martinelli's Figuring out, Kevin, they're not doubling him. He's going to be a problem along that baseline.
They may have to change their strategy. That's 4 quick points for Martinelli.
Notice now, Leach is the only one that's gotten a long-range shot off. Everything else has been at the rim.
And that's been a struggle in conference play for Northwestern. Shooting from 2, somehow they're under 50% from 2-point range in conference play.
Isn't that something?
Gophers take on the Huskies at the Barn. Big Ten Hoops, Saturday at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific, only on the Big Ten Network and the Fox Sports app. Second foul on Angelo Cheravino. And a move to the bench, Keenan Fitzmaurice. The 7-foot grad transfer from Stony Brook will come in and give Matthew Nicholson a breather. Also on the floor, Ty Berry checking in for the first time tonight.
Keenan Fitzmaurice has become one of my favorites, Kevin, and you know why. He ain't too cool for school. He plays hard. He loves playing basketball, period. And look at that.
Tipped out, though, ends up in the hands of Jermichael Davis. And look who's got it underneath, Ace Bailey. Johnny on the spot for 2.
And see, Ace Bailey, he's not a prima donna. This kid, he'll rebound. He'll defend. He wants to win. And I love his zest for the game. Along with Keenan Fitzmaurice, I might add.
Here's Martinelli. Berry will launch from deep. Rims out to Bailey.
Bailey was fortunate that time. He was guarding Berry. That quick ball exchange, he got caught looking.
Davis around Fitzmaurice, who showed up top. Now Durkak going to work. Aggressive again against Leach, and he draws the contact from Fitzmaurice on the foul.
He got Leach on his hip all the way to the rim.
Well, you pointed it out right out of the gate. The aggressiveness of Jordan Durkak. He's picking up where he left off against Michigan State.
And I think he has to, Kevin. You know, when you take away 18 points a game and the dynamic nature that Dylan Harper brings to his team, you've got to have somebody else with some juice, with some confidence to go make plays. And Jordan is trying to do that.
Well, that's one thing he's been able to do all year is draw fouls. Almost 4.5 fouls drawn per game, the most on this Rutgers squad. So he's been able to get that contact in his limited moments.
Boy, now he's saying something to Nick Martinelli. Zach Martini had to pull him away a little bit. I got to keep an eye on that.
Martinelli now talking to Berry. They're trying to work on who's got who on the box out. And the rebound ripped down by Barnheiser.
Now you've got a team in Northwestern that can really space the floor with Berry here.
Barnheiser in traffic, lost the basketball and ends up in the hands of newly unredshirted Bryce Dortch.
Dortch is great length, got a unique skill set, one that the coaches really love.
Turnover Rutgers, back it goes to Northwestern. Well, Durkak, watch this after the first free throw.
Well, he goes right up to him and is talking to him. Watch Zach Martini. He's like, got to pull him away like, bro, shoot your free throw. You rarely see that.
No, very strange.
Guys are usually more focused on scoring than trying to talk.
Tipped right back to Leach, and then his shot blocked away. Trying to push without numbers is Davis. Bailey, the trailer, open look from 3, and he banks it home.
Well, late night hours here in Evanston. Ace Bailey, that might get him going. It doesn't take much.
5 tonight for Bailey. Rutgers weathered an early storm. Now a 6-0 Scarlet Knights run ends on the Nick Martinelli 3.
Boy, Nick Martinelli's taking advantage of Dortch and Martini. These guys may not feel as comfortable guarding on the perimeter. Martinelli taking advantage.
Bailey working against Leach this time. He's got a height advantage, and he elevated over Leach for 2 more.
That's his patented shot. He gets on that right wing, goes hard to the baseline. There's really not a lot of players in college basketball that are 6'10" that can challenge that shot.
Martinelli scored the last 7 points for Northwestern. Leach trying to get things started. Here's Barry on the drive, lobbing it to Fitzmaurice. Turns the hook, rattles around. Unlike his colleague on the other end, he got the home roll. Somerville couldn't get that bounce.
Yes, he did. And Keenan coming off his best game as a Wildcat. 8 points, 3 rebounds against Illinois.
He's a good shooter. He was the best free throw shooter for any 7-footer in the nation last year with Stony Brook.
That's a good sign that you could be on the floor at the end of the game.
Contested three. Somebody's starting to feel it.
Ooh. And you know what Chris Collins told us today, Kat? He said he told his players, Bailey's going to hit shots like that, so don't panic. Just stick with what we're trying to do. He's going to hit contested looks. That's just what he does.
He's already got 10. He is a special talent. Martinelli hesitates, travel, turnover, back to Rutgers, and a timeout in Evanston.
I'll tell you what, we are watching a special young man this evening. Ace Bailey. This is hard to do. Bank right off the top. Bailey has scored Rutgers' last 8 points, and this is probably the prettiest one of them all.
Basketball on the Big Ten Network is brought to you by Ram Trucks, built to serve. And by State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Another packed house tonight at Welsh Ryan Arena to watch these Wildcats, who are home now for the next 3 games tonight, Wisconsin and USC. And this building, after the renovation a few years back, has become one of the more intimidating and exciting home courts in the Big Ten Conference.
He did a fantastic job, Kevin, because a lot of places think bigger is better. That's not necessarily the case. This is an intimate situation for the fans, and it is a great home court advantage.
Here's Zach Martini, got open for 3, and Nicholson snares the rebound for the Cats. Well, there's not a bad seat in this house, Stevens.
Not at all. And they built the stands right up on the floor, so the sound crescendos down on the court. Great home court advantage.
Martinelli settling for that deep jumper against Martini, and it's rebounded by Tyson Acuff.
Defensively, if you're going to guard Martinelli like that, that's the best you can do. Keep him out of the lane, force him into a jump shot, hopefully it's contested.
Oh, Bailey rattles that one down. They're going to look at that, calling it a 3 on the floor, but the next dead ball, they'll check it to see if it's a 2 or a 3.
Yeah, see, he's talking now. And so when he starts talking, you better leave him alone.
And Barry hits the shot clock on the carom off that miss, and a 6-0 burst. Watch Bailey, that toe on the line. When they look at it, they will change it to a 2.
Yeah, still looked good, though, didn't it?
Oh, looked outstanding.
No wasted motion whatsoever.
So right now it's 18-18. When they go look at this replay again, they're going to see it was a 2. So if you're scoring at home, it's 18-17. If you're scoring at home, that's rare. That doesn't happen a lot in basketball.
Michael Davis, I thought he was going to try to beat Martinelli off the bounce.
Here's Somerville, shot clock at 3. They're going to have to hurry. Davis in the corner, launching the 3, and it rolls home. Already 4 from range for Rutgers.
See, similar feel from long range as their win at Nebraska in terms of nice offensive balance here by Rutgers.
Barnheiser in alone is Nicholson for the 2-hand flush.
Total breakdown defensively there. What happens when you have freshmen on the floor sometimes.
You see the score on your screen. That'll be adjusted by a point at the next timeout. This is a tie game at 20 apiece. Martini to Somerville. Look at that defense collapse on the big man. Somerville in some trouble. And he got the home roll that time on the road.
He was determined to get that one up and down. Zach Martini got away with a little foot shuffle in front of the Northwestern bench. They went crazy. Oh, good job by Jermichael Davis covering up there.
Barry inside. Finesse play for Ty Barry.
Good job by Ty putting it on the deck, getting all the way to the rim. Get that confidence level up.
points, 6 rebounds at Illinois, where a slow start really hurt Northwestern on the road in Champaign.
Yeah, I think the Fighting Illini were kind of chomping at the bit to get back on the court after their performance before they played Northwestern. A nice move by Tyson Acuff. They need Tyson Acuff to score the basketball. 23 points a game last season at Eastern Michigan, one of the top 10 scorers in the country. They're going to need some of that offensive output with Dylan Harper out.
Here's Barnhizer banging his way into the paint. Tough fadeaway. But Barnhizer's got a knack to make that look easy.
Yes, he does. And those broad shoulders allows that space. And then you have that little bit of fade. Not many can bother his shot.
Off Somerville. Here's Bailey. 10 to shoot. I think Bailey's taking this one all the way up and in.
Yeah, he's going to say barbecue chicken. Mullins is an excellent defender, just doesn't have the height to bother his shot.
15 points already for Bailey. 6 of 7 from the floor, 3 of 3 from 3. Martinelli trying to find some room. Here's Mullins. That was changed by Bailey. He had to get that shot a little quicker than he wanted.
Yeah, good defensive effort that time.
Oh, what a split! And the hammer! Ace Bailey on the alley-oop. Flushes it home, and Rutgers up 4. I know it says 5, but they're up 4
Yes.
on the road.
Man, Ace Bailey hooking up with his high school teammate, and Rutgers is rolling.
As predicted during the timeout, they went to the monitor, changed the Bailey 3 to a 2, 28-24 Rutgers with 6:23 to play in half number 1. It's a colossal Friday night wrestling doubleheader. First, Penn State battles Iowa in a highly anticipated 1 versus 2 showdown. Then Wisconsin clashes with Nebraska. Coverage begins with the wrestling pregame at 6:30 Eastern, 3:30 Pacific, only on the Big Ten Network and the Fox Sports app. Shane Sparks is right now somewhere locked in a closet, drinking Red Bull, getting ready for 1 versus 2 on the Big Ten Network.
He's one of my favorite analysts to listen to, man. He gets after it. He acts like he's actually out there doing the moves himself. I love it.
Leach with the 3 out of the timeout. Gets Northwestern back on track, but Rutgers has hit their last 6 shots, and Bailey has all 16 points in the last 8 minutes.
Yeah, you see right now he's getting a little breather on the bench, so who's going to step up for Rutgers? Can it be Dylan Grant? Can it be Tyson Acuff?
Acuff's going to start with 10 to shoot. He'll go to work with Martinelli on his hip. Tough fadeaway for Acuff. And the tip is there. The long arms of Dylan Grant.
Good job by Dylan Grant getting on the backside. Really good length from the wing position.
His best game was on the road in that Nebraska game. He scored 15 to break the Huskers' home court winning streak as Leach finds the range once more.
Jalen Leach understanding he's got to step up offensively. Starting to pick and choose his spots here the back half of this first half.
Leach had a tremendous first half a week and a half ago at Michigan and then was ejected. And didn't get a chance to add to what was a 19-point performance. Williams bumped by Nicholson, closing out on the baseline. And that'll send Jeremiah Williams to the free throw line. Well, Ace Bailey coming back in, and why does Steve Peichel need him on the floor? Well, he scored 16 points, and the rest of the team has 14.
I'll tell you what, and when you get a score going like that, I know Ace asked for a little bit of a blow, but when you got a score rolling like that, you want to continue to ride it. So he got his breath, coming back in the game, getting ready again. And then you look at his numbers, Kevin. I mean, he's only missed 1 shot. 7 of 8 from the field thus far.
Williams good on the first free throw. Chervino coming back in for Northwestern with a pair of fouls. Fitzmaurice and Barnhizer return, and Ace Bailey back out there for Rutgers. He's got a chance to lead the entire conference in scoring as Ace Bailey this year. The last time a freshman did that in the Big Ten, you've got to go all the way back to the 2007-2008 season, and you're in good company if you do it. Eric Gordon
Who still get buckets.
Yeah, exactly.
Man, I thought you might say D'Angelo Russell because he also had an outstanding freshman campaign.
But to lead the whole league, you've got to go back all the way to Eric Gordon to do it as a freshman. And
that's hard.
Right now, Ace Bailey's in the driver's seat for that.
Oh, and he's special. And to be in the company of Eric Gordon, that's saying something, because he was about as good of a bucket getter as we've seen in this conference.
To the line goes his nearest competition for that scoring title in the Big Ten Conference, Nick Martinelli. They came in essentially a dead heat. Ace Bailey just behind Cooper Flagg. There's some terrific freshman scorers in college basketball this year.
I tell you, not only scorers, players. I mean, all through the country. This has been an outstanding freshman class.
Some high flyers in there, too. Cooper Flagg's got a little bit of hop to him.
Lead Duke in points, rebounds, assists, and steals. That guy he's going to be something at the next level. He's something now.
Right.
He's really going to be something at the next level.
Acuff fouled. The closeout by Fitzmaurice a little too aggressive. That's his second. So 2 on Fitzmaurice and 2 on Sheravino for Northwestern, and that's going to prompt a little deeper move to the bench. Luke Hunger coming in.
And that's the second time Northwestern bigs have fouled a jump shooter. Williams faked out Nicholson and got a foul on him. And now Acuff draws a foul on Fitzmaurice.
Acuff 11 of 14 this season at the free throw line. Sunday, more basketball comes your way when 16th ranked Oregon hosts Nebraska. The action tips off at 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific on the Big Ten Network and the Fox Sports app. Nebraska going to take on the Nebraska native, Dana Altman, head coach of the Ducks.
And who's one of our favorite players, Kevin, in the Big Ten?
I'd be the man with the bald spot.
Man, and Nate Biddle.
Nate Biddle
is a fun-loving young man, and he's a baller.
No, he can play.
Yes, he can.
Barnhizer from 3. Luke Hunger able to pluck that rebound. Needs a little help. Tried to throw it off the leg of Dylan Grant, and it's a kick ball. Mission accomplished for Luke Hunger.
Well, Luke Hunger has an opportunity right now to close out this first half due to foul trouble to his fellow bigs at Northwestern. Let's see if he can be effective.
Boy, inbound comes in. Sheravino, quick jumper, won't go. Rebounded by Dortch. Williams on the push. And a nice little hop in his step for a guy who wasn't feeling good earlier as he feeds Dylan Grant for the two-hand flush.
Hey, Dortch and Grant, these two freshmen from Rutgers, great length, good athletes, and they're fitting in very well down the stretch.
And a whistle as we get across the timeline. Foul called against Rutgers' Jeremiah Williams. And a timeout in Evanston with Rutgers up by 5. Our game leader is sponsored by Auto Owners Insurance. Ace Bailey leading everybody with 16 points. Jalen Leach providing yet another spark for Northwestern. 10 points, including 2 for 2 from 3.
Yeah, not a lot of defense being played on either side right now. So some excellent offense on both sides. And Ace Bailey has been better than advertised this evening. Off glass, baseline, over tough defense. In the post, jump hook. And now, on top of your head, Ace Bailey putting on a show here in the first half.
Had a quick adjustment to the shot clock during the timeout, so it is now at 23. Again, for those of you scoring at home, Nick Martinelli will inbound. This will surprise no one who's followed Northwestern basketball this year, but Nick Martinelli's played every minute so far.
Yes, he has. He's
played 90.7% of all possible minutes for Northwestern this year.
Gotta love it. 1-3-1 for the first time for Rutgers.
And Barnhizer will try to shoot him out of that 1-3-1 with a deep 3.
Excellent job with the ball movement. Ace Bailey at the top to discouraged the passes back and forth, but he just couldn't get his hand on that one, resulting in an open look.
Next foul by Northwestern sends Rutgers to the line for the rest of the half. Rutgers still with only 3 team fouls.
And Steve Michael's got to be pleased with how they started here on the road.
He's going to love Ace Bailey. My goodness. 19 in the first half for Bailey.
And Kevin, he's not hitting rim. It's all net. So you know he's on a heater right now.
8 for 9 from the floor. 3 for 3 from 3.
Look at George.
Oh, George draped all over it. Martinelli now against Bailey. That's a foul on Ace Bailey. That's number 2 on the freshman.
Well, what do you do here, Kevin? You're trying to guard. You got to respect his drive. And when he jab steps, when you respect it, that's 6'10", elevate with confidence. Not much you can do. Maybe start talking to him, asking what his classes are or something, because you better start getting in his head because he is on one right now.
The best defense Northwestern might have had is the fact that he just picked up his second foul. Coming up on the halftime show presented by State Farm, Dave Revson, Raphael Davis, and Bruce Weber will break down the first half and get you caught up to date on the rest of the Big Ten. I would guess that Coach Weber or Raphael or both, and maybe even Dave Revson, will say the words Ace Bailey at some point during our State Farm halftime.
You would think, right? This guy here, man, he is better than advertised and taking up for his backcourt mate, Dylan Harper, not able to play tonight.
And how about the confidence shown by Steve Peichel in his freshman? He's still out there with 2 fouls.
Yes, he is.
And that's going to be a foul. A whistle on Jalen Leach. The first on Leach, the 7th team foul. Now Ace Bailey with a chance to go over the 20-point mark in the first half as he'll head to the line for the 1-1.
As we said in the open, this young man has got 39 points on the road already in the Big Ten at Indiana. And if our viewers have gone over to Simon Scott Assembly Hall, that's not an easy place to go play.
No.
And he put on a show similar to what he's doing tonight. We're having some clock issues again. I think they got it worked out.
So to the line goes Bailey. You see the line tonight for Ace. And the front end is good. Comes from a hooping family. His mom played basketball. Dad played basketball. His Aunt Venus, the 1996 USA national team, playing basketball. So Ace really had no choice.
No, not with that frame.
No. There's some good teachers in the family, and this is a well-rounded game. Jordan Durkak will come in, and likely we've seen the last of Ace Bailey in the first half with those 2 fouls as he sits down with a mere 21 first half points.
A mere 21, yeah.
Barnheiser has it poked out. Northwestern ball, 22 to shoot. Still only 4 fouls whistled against Rutgers in this first half. So as we wind our way towards the end of the half, fouls to give perhaps for Rutgers.
Good point. And, you know, it's an indication that the defense has been okay. Percentage-wise, it's not. But they've been forcing turnovers like that.
And Dortch able to get a hand on that and bat it away. And then tipped out of bounds by Jalen Leach. Jeremiah Williams was fortunate. He came across Leach and didn't make enough contact to warrant a whistle. So it'll be Rutgers ball.
Tell you what, Brian Dortch has given some fantastic minutes for Rutgers here off the bench.
Steve Peichel told us earlier today he was going to see more time, and he really likes him. He's athletic, he's a rim runner, and he can defend. We've seen that today. Durkak driving inside. That's an offensive foul. So Durkak commits his first 15 foul.
Well, watch Durkak. Leaves his feet. Todd Berry doing a great job of giving up his body, but Durkak, when he first got around the defender, his initial defender, pull up for the jumper. Got too deep on the penetration. You get a charge like that when you leave your feet. See if Leach can find some space here. He's been really good this first half.
drive to the rim, can't get it to drop. Dylan Grant defending. A little bit of sloppy ball handling to get it across, but Rutgers rights the ship here with 20 on the shot clock.
Like Jeremiah Williams, he tried to get Lathan Somerville the ball on the baseline.
Blocking foul, almost the and one on the Durkak drive. That contact from Leach, and that's number 2 on Leach. So 2 on Leach, 2 on Fitzmaurice, 2 on Sheravino for Northwestern in this first half.
So Rutgers doing a really good job of attacking the paint. Even with those bigs inside, Rutgers has found some success in the paint area here in the first half.
Durkak 1 of 2 tonight at the line. 1 for 3 now. Came in at 75% on the year.
I think when Jordan gets in trouble shooting his free throws, they're a little flat. He can stand to use a little arc on his release. Let's see if he gets a little bit more arc on this one. Flat.
And the ball tipped toward the sideline, out of bounds. It'll be Rutgers' ball.
And Michael Davis, he must have seen it because he ran hard like he's going to save it, and then just kind of let it go.
So now with that, another offensive possession. Here comes Ace Bailey back on the floor. Also returning Tyson Acuff as Davis and Durkak will sit down.
Well, when you bring Ace Bailey in this quickly, guess who's going to get the ball?
A lot of trust shown in this freshman to not get that third foul.
I agree.
Under 10 on the shot clock. Acuff going to have to go to work with 5 to shoot. In the corner, it's Bailey. Catch, shoot, 3 again. Ace Bailey with 24.
Ace Bailey gonna bring him home. If Rutgers can add some defensive pressure along with this scoring brilliance of Bailey, they're gonna be tough to beat in the second half here.
9 of 10. 4 for 4 from 3 for Bailey. Barnheiser, the touch out to Martinelli. And that's a travel. He slid that pivot foot as he got into the paint, and now Rutgers can work for the final shot, and Steve Pikiell's going to use his use it or lose it timeout. What a quick shot from Ace Bailey.
Man, I tell you what, I mean, he doesn't have to recoil. What I mean by, watch this, ladies and gentlemen, he catches and pops right back up. A lot of players have to recoil and gather themselves. He can catch in the pocket and let it go.
Well, this week is the American Cancer Society Coaches versus Cancer Suits and Sneakers Week. While you're watching this week's games, you'll see your favorite coaches suiting up and wearing sneakers to promote the American Cancer Society's vision to end cancer as we know it. This year, we're asking all fans to help set the screen by making sure they have the most up-to-date information on the recommended cancer screenings. To donate and learn more about Coaches versus Cancer and setting the screen to save lives, visit coaches.cancer.org. You and I got the chance to see some cool sneakers this past weekend at Wisconsin. That Greg Gard and his staff worked with the kids, one of the children's hospitals, to design their sneakers, specially made for that game. It's such a great event and such a wonderful cause that these coaches all participate in throughout the course of the season.
And unfortunately, all of us are affected either directly or indirectly by cancer, so bringing awareness to this is a wonderful thing.
Rutgers working for the final shot. 10 seconds and counting. Wonder if Ace Bailey will touch it.
He better.
Williams to work. Williams, the jumper. Didn't get it to go. Rebounded by Barnheiser, and that shot will not count if it goes. It doesn't go anyway. Halftime is here, and Bailey didn't touch the basketball.
I was surprised by that. Williams got a good look, but I thought he should have went to Bailey on that last one.
Ace Bailey, how about his half? 24 first half points as we get set to send it to our State Farm halftime report. Dave Rebson, Rayfeld Davis, and Coach Bruce Weber in our Chicago studios next. You're playing cards, you don't mind getting dealt an ace. Rutgers has had all aces tonight. 24 points in the first half for Ace Bailey. That effective field goal percentage measures basically how effective you are as a shooter. When it's over 100%, that's pretty good.
Oh, that's really good. One missed shot on the evening, or in the first half, excuse me. And Kevin, you made a great point. The fact that Ace Bailey has not forced the issue, and Northwestern's played pretty good defense. But we are watching something special here this evening, ladies and gentlemen. And let's see if Northwestern can get back in this game and somehow slow down Ace Bailey. You throw a couple players at him, I'm not sure, but Chris Collins and his staff have their work cut out for them to devise a plan to slow this young man down.
You may have to literally throw players at him, like pick them up and heave them across the court, hoping to knock him off balance, because that may be the only way to thwart him at this point.
No doubt. I mean, again, we'll see how he starts this second half. Brooks Barnheiser's got the assignment here to start.
Well, let's see where Ace Bailey goes after that first half that saw him light it up for 24 points. He started the second half with a smile on his face. That's got to be a little disconcerting if you're the Wildcats.
Agreed.
Here's Grant in the paint, off the heel, rebound tipped out into the hands of Martinelli.
Shervino got early foul trouble. Let's see if he can add something on the offensive end, because Brooks Barnheiser has not found the range yet.
Here he is from the top of the key, a little bit strong, and the rebound saved by Martinelli. Second chance as Martinelli works against Bailey. Martinelli can't get it to go. There's a foul. Nicholson bats the rebound in the air, and I think Durkak had a piece of him. That'll be his second.
Yeah, it's hard on those guards sometimes to seal off that backside when you got a 7-footer like Nicholson, who camps down there along the baseline. Good job by Matthew Nicholson getting to the rim and putting pressure on the Rutgers defense.
And a cagey veteran like Nicholson, too. Seen a lot of basketball.
And if you guys are fortunate enough, as Kevin and I are to sit and shoot around, this guy was telling everybody on the team where to go. I mean, he knows every position, every play. And Northwestern has the biggest playbook in the Big Ten, in my opinion.
4 seconds on the shot clock. Martinelli to find the rejection by Bailey. He'll throw it at the rim. It hits the rim. They stop the play. They call it a shot clock violation. It's rebounded by Northwestern. Chris Collins erupts.
I tell you what, now give Nick Martinelli a ton of credit.
No doubt.
That's a heck of a play to get your shot blocked and have the presence of mind to just throw it up off balance. I mean, that's great effort for Martinelli. The officials will work this out. That hit the rim. Hit the backboard first, but then it hit the rim. Right? Watch the spin of the basketball.
Boom.
Boy, Chris Collins is
hot. The previous players under review.
Now here's the question. Did it hit the rim? Where was the clock? Where was the ball on the backboard? Where was the ball on the rim at that point?
That's good. That's the million-dollar question right now, Kevin. And I was paying attention if the ball hit the rim. I wasn't looking at the shot clock, so it's going to be interesting how they come out of this.
After further review,
I've seen Chris.
It was not a shot clock violation. It will be Northwestern's ball on the alternating possession arrow.
Okay, so Northwestern's going to lose the arrow as a result. You can't do anything else because the play was stopped. They did rebound it cleanly.
Ooh, that's close.
Very close.
I mean, that's why they get paid well to be officials, right? Man, that's a great job, though, by Martinelli to get that ball on the rim like that.
It bought a possession for the Cats, and they could use it. Down 43-35. Here's Leach in the corner, and it bought him 3 points with that heave by Martinelli.
So let's 18:42 to start the second half. That might be a turning point for Northwestern.
See what they do with this guy. Ace Bailey, 24 first half points. Going to work on Barnheiser, loping to the rim, and Nicholson a wall in front of him.
Great job by Nicholson coming over.
Now Barnheiser finding Martinelli. Whips that pass to Shervino for 3. And a a great look, and Bailey the rebound.
Sheravino is willing, and freshman that is super talented, but just hasn't found the range here tonight.
Bailey rims that one out. Rebound batted out by Grant, and there's an injured Cat. Jalen Leach got poked in the battle for the rebound off the first Bailey miss.
Boy, and I hope he doesn't have contact lenses, because he's kind of fooling with his eye there a little bit. Oh, man. A direct poke from Jordan Durkak. So John Mobley Jr. of Ohio State had a similar injury. Look at his eye right there. When Mobley got injured, he was clenching his eye so tough that it wouldn't open up. So he had to go back to the locker room. Looks like Leach may have to do something similar.
They're taking him back to that locker room right now. Williams, as Nicholson comes out to challenge, and the late whistle. Nicholson with the personal. On that challenge, it'll be his second.
That's the second. 2 of his fouls tonight, Kevin, have been fouling Jeremiah Williams on jump shot. Looked like a tough break, because I thought it was a good challenge and no contact, but Williams sold it well when he fell down.
Got to give him space to land, and I got to believe that's what he didn't give it.
Yeah, you're spot on with that. It's tough for bigs in that scenario, man. But good decision by Jeremiah Williams being aggressive.
That's probably why the whistle didn't blow right away, is because you're waiting for a big guy to come down, and took him a minute.
Yeah.
Williams hoping to take advantage, and he does. You'd have asked Steve Peichel yesterday, as we look at Leach down the tunnel trying to get his eyes back to where they need to be. You'd have asked Steve Peichel yesterday if Jeremiah Williams was going to play. I think he would have said no. He said he was very, very ill.
Yeah, and that, you know, that just shows the toughness of this young man. Obviously, there's a little bit more motivation with his family in the house, but...
Boy, what a find by Martinelli and Nicholson, and then good hands by Bailey to strip it out of the big man's paws.
Case Bailey right there where he's supposed to be in help side position. Almost gets the steal.
Six to shoot. Martinelli spinning inside to the rim. Count it, and the foul.
Wow. Steve Peichel is hot. And he's upset with Lathan Somerville that he doesn't close down the lane. He's like, you need to, he said, Martinelli is the second leading scorer in the conference. Don't worry about Matthew Nicholson. Teaching moments right there for the young big.
Pretty good guy to teach you, too.
Oh, no
Steve
doubt.
Peichel.
No doubt.
Three-point play, though, and Northwestern hanging around with the three in the corner, and now the old-fashioned three-point play, back within 4.
And remember, ladies and gentlemen, this Northwestern team has been a second-half ball club, especially the last 2 games. Had 53 in the second half against Illinois.
And Williams with the turnover to Sheravino. Sheravino, quick as a hiccup to the other end. He'll go to the line for a pair.
Sheravino showing some jets with that basketball. Got to that 5th gear, got downhill, putting pressure on Scarlet Knights.
So Sheravino 1 for 4 from the floor as Grant picks up his second personal, sending the freshman from Chicago to the line. Just 7 of 13 at the line this year. Didn't look like a 7 of 13 shooter, and we know he's not.
Right. No, and he's got good form, got nice release, and things are starting to slow down for him. You can tell he's not rushing as much, starting to understand things a little bit more. Look at him pumping his chest, trying to get Nicholson ready to play.
Jalen Leach back on the Wildcats bench. Lathan Somerville back in the game, and he gets a rebound.
That's good teaching by Steve Peichel, not to punish the young man, but just to get his attention and let him learn his lesson and then come back in and be ready to play.
Now, Steve Peichel's been really pleased with his 5 spot this year. Now, Emmanuel Oboli is out for the rest of the year, had surgery, successful surgery, but between Oboli, Somerville, and now Bryce Dortch, You were talking with him earlier. You said, look, we're getting pretty good production out of that 5 spot.
They have been. And Lathan didn't get that one to drop, but that was a good look.
Now he's working against Martinelli, and an offensive foul on Nick Martinelli. The first, as Somerville takes the charge.
Big fella moving them puppies, man, getting in position. Chris Collins doesn't like the call, but watch Somerville cut off the baseline. Little chicken wing out there. Good job by Somerville.
I think Steve Pikiell's a little more pleased with Lathan Somerville after the teaching moment than he was during the teaching moment.
And you know what? He learned the lesson quickly.
He did. Here's Ace Bailey. He's taught a few lessons this year as a freshman. Jamichael Davis inside. Here's Somerville from the free throw line. Good challenge by Nicholson. Ty Berry will push for Northwestern. Cats down 3 at home.
Cats need a Ty Berry sighting. He needs to get activated here.
Barnheiser up, lob. Nicholson trying to secure it, and it's out of bounds to Rutgers, and a timeout on the floor. 45-42, Rutgers and Northwestern. Good one in Evanston.
Since
producer Bart Fox, our director Andrew Blaustein, our entire Big Ten Network crew on hand. 15:45 remaining in the second half. Northwestern battling in this second half. They've outscored Rutgers 7-2 to get back within 3.
Yeah, they've done a good job coming out of the halftime break, reestablishing themselves and closing this gap. This is a comfortable place for them to be. And they really made it difficult for Bailey to even touch here.
Bailey in the paint, and that's the first field goal of the second half for any Rutgers player. Ace Bailey with 26 points tonight.
Great timing on the cut by Bailey. Seeing his teammate on the wing, making himself available in the lane.
Barnheiser will turn the corner. Into the paint, tough fadeaway. Rebound loose until Somerville controls it for Rutgers.
Somerville can bring it up. Look at this.
End to end. Big man on the run. Bailey against Nicholson. He'll back it out.
Ooh. Freshman almost turned it over, both of them.
Acuff swatted by Sheravino. Here's Berry. You were looking for a Berry sighting. He misses that 3, and the rebound out of bounds. Last touched by Zach Martini of Rutgers.
I like that shot by Berry, though. He's a catch-and-shoot guy. He got a good look. They need to keep going to him.
Good to see this. Jalen Leach returns to the game for Northwestern.
And he doesn't look like he's favoring anything. Looks like he's okay. Great sign.
5-point Rutgers lead. And we've got a whistle and a foul before the inbound. It may have been Dortch who had a hold of Fitzmaurice on that inbound.
Brian Dortch getting extended minutes tonight. And you expect, you got to give the freshman a little leeway in that regard.
And we've got a second foul in the corner away from the ball. And that's Tyson Acuff. So Bryce Dortch, Tyson Acuff, back-to-back fouls. And now 5 already on Rutgers in the second half. And remember, this was a Rutgers team that in the first half only committed 5.
Northwestern not settling for jumpers. They're trying to get downhill.
See what they do with 10 to shoot here, and Leach at the helm. Leach against Martini. Needs some help. Ball tipped away and taken away. Good hands by Jamichael Davis.
Jamichael Davis plays with great energy.
And Bailey drawing the contact and the foul from Ty Berry, his first, team's 3rd.
Berry didn't like the call, but if you're going to crowd Bailey, you better crowd him to one side. You can't get up into him when he's dribbling like that. Just make him veer to one side or the other, but it's tough to square him up when he's moving like that.
Here's Bailey. Back to work. 26 in this one, but a turnover. No numbers for Berry. He'll back it out.
Michael Davis was trying to sneak in the paint. Tiberi was on top of him.
Martinelli trying to split two defenders, but the reach in as he started that split whistled a foul. That'll be the 6th team foul. Jamichael Davis picks up his first.
Northwestern staying within this 3 to 5 point deficit.
Off the inbound, that one won't go, but Barnhizer the rebound of the Berry miss and a travel. Turnover number 8 for Northwestern.
Yep. Barnhizer just a little frustrated right now.
He has battled, Stephen, battled through injuries, through contact. Some of those plays that he's made this year, you couldn't even show on an NFL highlight tape anymore because he's bashing his face, he's losing teeth.
Yeah, when he hit his face, man,
oh, goodness.
I was shocked he got up.
Martini the deep three, and that'll splash home for Zach Martini.
Zach Martini is a valuable member of this front line. Guy who can bang inside defensively, but can space the floor offensively.
Northwestern hasn't scored in almost 4 minutes. Down 8 again. Barnhizer able to keep that dribble alive, leaning in through contact, and cannot get it to drop. Barnhizer takes it away, misses from point-blank range, got his own miss again, and then taken away by Acuff.
Yeah, he's laboring to get up the floor. Rutgers with numbers.
Tough drop-off inside, and that'll be a foul on Fitzmaurice of Northwestern.
Dylan Grant's length really bothered Barnhizer that last time.
And Brooks Barnhizer will head to the bench. Talk about a guy who has just battled through a litany of aches and pains and injuries,
and you'd never know it because he doesn't change facial expression. He goes hard. He's getting to his spots. Just been a little flat on a few of his looks from long range.
2 for 8 tonight as he gets a breather here.
And you see that mark on his nose, ladies and gentlemen. That's when he dunked the ball and then landed right on his face.
Davis driving in, the defense by Sheravino.
I like the idea of Davis try to use his left hand on the right side, try to get it up before the defense got there, but didn't have enough lift.
Martinelli. They're going to need him to surge here in this second half if they're going to chip away at this 8-point Rutgers lead. Davis. Acuff, shot fake, step in, 2 is good. Tyson Acuff gives Rutgers its biggest lead at 10.
It's a score right there. That up fake, put it on the deck and go into your jumper. It's a nice response by Rutgers here in the last few possessions.
Meanwhile, Northwestern, they've missed their last 7 shots. They haven't scored in over 5 minutes. The 3 in and out, halfway down, and it popped out of the cylinder. And Jamichael Davis going the other way. It'll be Northwestern ball, but it's Rutgers' lead here in Evanston. The Scarlet Knights up 10 on the road. Basketball on the Big Ten Network is brought to you by Auto Owners Insurance, simple human sense. And by State Farm, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. A game of knockout during the break, and a half-court winner jersey for him. He wins a jersey. I feel like you should get something more for a half-court shot, maybe jersey and dinner or something.
Yeah, jersey and like 3 pizzas or something like that. You know, pizza is like cryptocurrency for young people.
It could be cryptocurrency for older people, but it never seems to settle quite as well as it did in the college days.
Yep. You know, you got to have a certain kind of beverage to go with it, too, to make it digest a lot better.
Exactly. And of course, Stephen Children is speaking of water. Always a great drink. Free throw is good for Jalen Leach. You notice 7 fouls at the bottom of your screen for Rutgers. 11:39 to go in this ballgame, and Northwestern will be at the line the remainder of the game.
And so if you think about this, Northwestern has the most returning minutes of any team in the Big Ten. And so if you're a veteran ball club, you have to be able to take advantage of younger players and teams like Rutgers.
Bailey on the drive, that foul on the floor, no shot. It'll be on Barnhizer, back out there, picks up his second personal foul.
Brooks Barnhizer going to take his turn and trying to put his strength and size on Bailey to slow him down. It's going to be fascinating.
It's a continuing saga. Who will slow down Ace Bailey? He'll try the three in the corner, and he will hit it. 29 for Bailey.
Man, that's bitter beer face, Kevin. Man, catch, face up. There's nothing you can do. You got to respect his drive, but you also got to try to bother his shot.
Barnhizer, maybe that'll get him going from the free throw line.
No, I like it. Get to his spot, elevate with confidence.
55-46 Rutgers. Tip to Bailey. Bailey will back it out against Barnhizer. And that's a foul on Barnhizer. That's his third, sixth team foul. And so the next Northwestern foul means Rutgers shoots the remainder of the game.
Kevin, I get it. These Northwestern defenders, you get torched because I've been in that position. It's not a good feeling. And you're trying everything you can, but you're dealing with a pro.
Oh my! Bryce Dortch! That would have been quite the way to score your first college points.
Ryan Dortch coming into your living room. Almost got that one to go, but really good execution. Underneath out of bounds.
So to the line goes Bryce Dortch, the freshman from Somerville, Massachusetts, still looking for his first college point. Now, in fairness, he was redshirting this year until last weekend against Michigan State. The injury to Emmanuel Obole knocked him out for the remainder of the year, and Steve Peichel said, we're going to burn the red shirt, and Dortch misses both free throws, so he's still scoreless now in 2 games.
So these are the type of things that Northwestern takes advantage of.
And Barnhizer with the three, can't get that one to drop. Rebound loose. Somehow Sheravino comes up with it and draws the foul.
Oh, okay, they got Jermichael Davis because I thought Dortch had a good block on that.
Second on Davis. And Sheravino's headed to the free throw line for a pair.
I like what I just saw, Kevin, from Northwestern. They crashed the offensive glass. And I think some of Rutgers players are trying to leak out a little bit. Northwestern trying to generate some offense on that offensive glass.
Well, they saw how important offensive rebounding was in their loss Sunday at Illinois. The Illini had 21 offensive rebounds as they out-rebounded the Cats 50-27.
Illinois, number 2 in rebounding in the country, is a very finesse team on the glass.
Seven-point advantage for the Scarlet Knights. Ace Bailey with 29 tonight.
See, now Nick Martinelli. Okay, now Sheravino switches out.
Bailey wants to clear it out. From the elbow, Bailey, a little bit short. Rebounded by Martinelli.
Good job by Sheravino, forcing in one direction and closing the space.
Under 10 to play.
Oh, look at Jermichael Davis fight Martinelli. Excellent job defensively.
And then the double on the baseline. Martinelli's shot won't go, and Davis will push it up the floor. Bailey and Davis, two-man game, and the lob to Ace Bailey, punishing the rim. 31 tonight for the freshman sensation.
Oh, man. Ace Bailey, Jermichael Davis grew up together in Chattanooga. I think they've done that once or twice, Kevin.
Feels like familiarity there.
Yes. Every time Northwestern pushes, Rutgers has had an answer here in the second half.
Barnhizer, three over Bailey, won't go. Rebounded by Acup.
Tell you what, Bailey wants it again.
Why not? Crossover, gets past Cheravino, and the drop-off to Somerville. Stripped out of his hands, Cheravino with the steal. Numbers for the Cats. Cheravino dumps it off for 2 for Leach.
Hey, man, Cheravino is balling on both ends of the floor. Giving some juice and a jolt that's desperately needed for the Wildcats.
Timeout taken by the Scarlet Knights. 8:35 to play in Evanston. Rutgers up by 7.
Stay tuned.
Kevin, let's take a look at this. Beautiful feed here, but here's the important part. Now watch this. Jermichael Davis gave it up first. He knew Ace was going to give it back to him. Then you go over the top. The reason you make that early pass to set this up, you keep the defense off balance. They don't know which player to hone in on. And all of a sudden, it's too late. The ball's in the air. And Ace Bailey goes and finishes.
The freshman scoring record, he set it January 2 at Indiana. So he started the year with the freshman scoring record. Will he end the month of January by breaking his own freshman record? Third 30-point game of the year for Bailey. Lob inside, and that just goes in. Jermichael Davis says, well, of course it was a shot.
Tell you what, it might be Rutgers' night. When things like that start happening, and you've got a 31-point score going right now, this might be Rutgers' night.
Meanwhile, for Northwestern, just 2 of their last 13 from the floor. Where can they find offense? Martinelli, 4 for 12 tonight. He'll spin, puts it up off the rim. They've had 4 or 5 that have bounced all around the rim and haven't dropped.
That's right. Martinelli, his last 2 attempts seem to be slightly rushed. And I'm kind of curious because there's not a shot blocker in there necessarily. But for whatever reason, he's feeling rushed.
Shot clock under 10. Davis surveying the situation. Now he'll go to work. Davis with 4 to shoot. Acuff. Contested 3, no problem for Tyson Acuff.
Oh, I tell you, this looks a lot like Pinnacle Bank Arena, doesn't it?
It certainly does. The biggest lead of the night at 12 for the Scarlet Knights. And a bump up top. The foul on Jermichael Davis and a timeout on the floor. Ace Bailey having a night and letting everybody know it. Stay connected to Men's Hoops on social media. Follow at B1GMBBall on X, and then follow at B1GMBB on YouTube and Instagram to get immediate access to the best highlights, features, and teams you love. The Cats are 10-1 at home this year. Their only loss to Michigan State. But right now, the Rutgers Scarlet Knights with a 12-point lead, their largest lead of the night, 7:14 to play here in Evanston.
Yeah, so Northwestern obviously coming uphill and have to find an answer to slow Ace Bailey down, but they've got to get some offense generated.
Each able to hit the front end of the 1-and-1.
Tonight is an example of Steve Peichel defense that has been missing from Rutgers consistently this season based on the fact that they're so young, Kevin.
Well, they've allowed 80 points or more in the last 3 games. They would really have to have a meltdown in the final 7 minutes to get to that point allowed tonight. Acuff inside, Somerville catch, finish, and the foul.
Oh, excellent patience by Tyson Acuff. He waited for Somerville to pop free, got him a nice slip pass. Watch Acuff waits just right when he could get to the spot. And this time, Lathan didn't put it on the deck, Kevin. He went right up.
We've seen the freshman learn a couple of lessons tonight.
And he's a fast learner. He really is.
65-52. Somerville with 7 this evening. Here's Leach trying to get all 3 back, and that won't go. And the rebound ripped down by Somerville.
Now you're going to see Rutgers be very patient offensively. They're going to shorten this game up a little bit. Take a little time off each possession coming down the stretch.
The drive to the rim, and Acuff making it look easy for the Scarlet Knights, who lead by 15, 67-52, and a timeout taken by Northwestern. Rutgers now an even 50% shooting in the second half. Northwestern 4 of 23 and 1 of 10 from three-point land. And the start of a very difficult stretch for the Scarlet Knights. Here tonight, Saturday they host Michigan. Then they host Illinois. Then they go to Maryland before Iowa comes calling. And then they take the long trip west to take on a very good Oregon Ducks team.
Every team in the Big Ten has a stretch like this where it's just a gauntlet. And, you know, it's the nature of the Big Ten Conference. Top to bottom, the most competitive in the country. And so Rutgers understanding that they've got to make some room, Kevin. They've got to get on a run here. Whether Dylan Harper's going to be able to come back in, you know, next game or not, they don't know. But I tell you what, whatever they started tonight with, they need to bottle up because their last few games on the road have been very good.
Win over Nebraska, and now a big lead on the road here, but a three off the timeout from Ty Berry. First made three of the night for Berry, 1 for 6 from the floor before that shot.
And Chris Collins, after he called that timeout, when Berry was coming to the bench, he was patting him on the head, patting him on the back, trying to give him some confidence, and he came through.
Acuff will push it into the corner. 8 to shoot. The swing around to Bailey. Leach on him. 4 on the shot clock. Bailey down the baseline. He's fouled to the line. He goes for 2. Leach with his 3rd personal foul, and Ace Bailey back to the stripe.
Showed great patience. And ladies and gentlemen, you're looking at a young man with 31 points. He's 12 of 16. Like that is so efficient. Generally, when you see players score 30 plus, they're not shooting this.
24.
No doubt about it. But his teammates have picked up the slack as well. Acuff, Somerville. Done a good job here.
The highest ranked recruit in Rutgers basketball history. Part of a 5-member freshman class that was number 3 in the country. And obviously Ace Bailey and Dylan Harper were the headliners, but you've seen some of those other freshmen tonight. Bryce Dortch, Lathan Somerville, making some plays tonight for this Rutgers team.
Oh no, they've got a bright future with these freshmen. Like you're saying, Harper and Bailey, this is their, you know, only time around the Big Ten, but these 3 other freshmen, they're going to be something here with the Rutgers program.
Martinelli off the shot fake. He'll lean in for 2. Now 15 on the board for Nick Martinelli.
Now that looked more in the flow instead of being rushed. He's got to get to that space here coming down the stretch. And I mean, if I'm Martinelli, I'm calling for the ball. I want my play call.
8 to shoot. Davis. Nothing inside. Bailey calling for it in the corner with 3 seconds, with 2 seconds. Davis trying to lean in against Nicholson. That's a shot clock violation. And then the ball taken away. Dortch rips it away from Nicholson. Looked like Nicholson had secured the ball before the horn was completely off. That's why it wasn't a shot clock violation per se. Hit zeros and Nicholson caught it at the same time, so they let it play. Bailey will pull that one from 3. Really, maybe his first ill-advised shot of the night, Stephen.
I agree with that.
Yes. And the ball swatted out of bounds. Bailey making up for it on the defensive end. Was it a shot clock violation? Boy. Didn't look like he had secure that basketball. I thought live it was for sure going to get the whistle, but no whistle blown.
I agree. That was a weird play at the end of the shot clock.
Berry's 3 falls, and the Cats with a little bit of life. They're back within 9.
Ty Berry and Nick Martinelli need to be calling their number. I know Leach has had some success, but Barry and Martinelli need to bring Northwestern down the stretch here.
Bailey and Barry battling down low. Bailey with the hook, and it drops. 35 points for Ace Bailey.
We hadn't seen the jump hook. When he pulls the jump hook out, oh, man. We are seeing
what ball movement. That was a thing of beauty that Nicholson flushed.
Yes, it was.
A little bit of life from the Cats. Do they have enough time? 3.5 to play. And we've got a whistle and a foul, or a timeout. Timeout taken by Rutgers with 3:28 to go.
You're seeing the top 3 pick in next year's NBA draft coming out of his bag. Go ahead, young fella.
(71-62) Rutgers. Ace Bailey with 35, closing in on the Rutgers freshman record that he holds, that he set earlier in the month. Can he break his own record and in the process propel Rutgers to a big road win?
Northwestern's only lost 1 time in this building. We talked about earlier to Michigan State.
Yep.
Right? The best team in the conference. And Rutgers has really had control of this game from about the 10-minute mark in the first half on.
Each team in a good groove right now. Northwestern's hit 4 of their last 5. Rutgers 5 of their last 7. Here's Bailey again, going to work. Deep 2. That won't go. Rebound, Barnheiser.
I like the adjustment, though. They brought Bailey in the center of the floor, not on the wing, so it's harder to double team him.
Up on 3 to play. Leach. Into the paint. Turns off the glass. 2 more for Leach. He's got 21.
Okay, now I like that. Now I didn't feel like Leach was confident here in the second half, but I love that move. Take advantage of the size over Jermichael Davis. Watch Tyson Acuff be real aggressive this time, Kevin.
He's got 11 in this ball game. Step back from the foul line is good, and Tyson Acuff with 13.
See, that's a score, and he's starting to feel it. He can take some pressure off Bailey, so they can't load up on Ace Bailey as much.
You're talking about the guy who led the MAC in scoring last year. He is a prolific scorer.
Yes, he is. He better be a prolific defender here on Martinelli.
Martinelli leading inside. That hook won't go. Good rebound by Somerville.
The freshmen are growing up, Kevin.
They right before our eyes,
yes.
Stephen.
Yes.
73-64. Rutgers trying to shrink this game a little bit here.
Going right back to Acuff.
He's going to work against Barry. Bailey has to hoist this one with that shot clock winding. Good defense by Northwestern. Can they cash in on this end? The trailer is Martinelli. He'll drive on Bailey, and that's a hand check and a foul on the freshman, his 3rd.
The worst thing the Rutgers coaching staff wanted was a foul in that situation. So as excellent as he has been this evening, he's still a freshman. And he makes freshman mistakes at times.
Martinelli, a double-double tonight, 15 points, 10 rebounds, heads to the free throw line, 1:30 to go. Possession arrow favoring Rutgers, and the free throw no good for Martinelli. 3rd miss tonight for the Cats at the line as Justin Mullins and Angelo Cheravino check in. 90 seconds to go. Are you going to start to see a foul a night strategy?
Yeah, and I also think that, you know, Northwestern's got a full court press. That's why they went a little bit smaller. Got quickness with Cheravino and Mullins in the game.
Bailey in the corner. Gets rid of it to Acuff. 73-65 Scarlet Knights.
Well, what a luxury to have a guy like Acuff running the squad right now that can go get his own shot.
Transfer from Eastern Michigan. The bounce inside Somerville, able to control it, and then the foul called on Nicholson. And that's going to send Somerville to the line. Fourth foul on Nicholson. Somerville heads to the charity stripe. He has been really good at the free throw line this year. 82% at the stripe, 1 for 1 tonight.
I mean, for a big like that, so that means you can stay on the floor at the end of the game. Like if they come and foul you, you know, you're as good of a free throw shooter as anybody else on the team. So for you young players who are playing the post position, make your free throw.
And also grow to 6'10".
That'll help. That will definitely help.
10-point Rutgers lead. Leach for 3. Bailey the rebound. His 6th tonight. On the run is Davis. Somerville inside, and he traveled. Took the step and a turnover back to Northwestern.
Steve Michaels looking at Jermichael Davis like, what are you doing?
He's getting ready for the Big Ten Live Basketball postgame, which delivers highlights, expert analysis, and press conferences coming up right after the game on the Big Ten Network. Count it, and the foul. Oh, that's going to frustrate Steve Peichel as Barnheiser gets 2 and a chance for 1 more at the line. There's still 43.3 seconds to go in this game.
This is what young teams struggle with, closing out games, especially on the road. Barnheiser, Martinelli both doing the exact right thing, driving it, getting it to the rim, and putting pressure.
This is one of those games, Steven, that you may look at the end of the year for both of these teams and say, what a pivotal game this was. End of January, evenly matched on paper.
Yep. Both teams entering 3 and 6 in conference play.
Yep.
This is a big game for both teams.
7-point advantage. Press extended. Bailey able to pluck it out of the air, and now they'll give the foul. Mullins offering one up for Dylan Grant, who's had very limited opportunities in this first year at the line. Just 2 for 6 this season.
Yeah, this Rutgers squad, though, I mean, you know, when you look at this team at 10 and 10, 3 and 6 in conference play, you know, played in front of about 17,000 in Madison Square Garden last game, could not beat the Spartans. They didn't hang their head. They came in here. They had a very spirited, as you said, Northwestern. Rutgers had their own spirited walk through this morning as well.
If Northwestern rallies, Rutgers is going to look at that box score and say 13 of 22 at the line.
Yes.
59%. That's a lot of points left at the charity stripe tonight.
Yes, it is. See associate head coach Brandon Knight and Steve Peichel comparing notes over here to close out this game.
And Grant misses them both. Rebound tipped into the hands of Barnheiser. Cats have 2 timeouts. Rutgers 1. 3 up for Barry. That's off. Nicholson secures the rebound briefly and then thrown away. Davis with the intercept. Davis to the rim. He'll flush it home. And the exclamation point for the Scarlet Knights. Up 77-68. Barnheiser down to Nicholson. And Nicholson with a flush of his own. Timeout taken by Chris Collins, one of his 2 remaining timeouts. But the hill may be too steep with 21.1 seconds to go and a 7-point Rutgers lead.
Now, Rutgers has done everything they needed to do to maintain this 5 to 9 point stretch, this lead. And again, I can't say enough about these guys coming in on the road and controlling the game. Now, it helps to have a guy that's dropped 35 on the night in Ace Bailey.
(77-70), 21.1 seconds to go. Each team with a timeout. Both teams over the limit for the double bonus. Possession arrow in the case of a tie-up favors the Rutgers Scarlet Knights. Northwestern will extend that pressure again.
And if I'm Rutgers, I post up Ace Bailey and throw it up to him. Like that.
Exactly as you said, Stephen Bardo, and there's the foul.
I mean, he's the best press break at 6'10". He's a good free throw shooter. They get it to him, he can secure the rock. And boy, he's tired. That rest is going to be well-deserved after tonight.
You and I were talking during a timeout, and I'm going to bring this on the air because Ace Bailey, every time I look out at him, he doesn't look like a 6'10" player. I know he is, but there's just something about his build that seems to hide the fact that he's 6'10".
I totally agree, Kevin. Everything fits, so, and the way he moves on the perimeter, I think that fools you a little bit.
It does. He's just so fluid.
Yes.
He looks and moves like a guard, and so you kind of get lulled into a sense of, well, he's not that big. And then you see what he does.
I agree.
Against a guy like Nicholson, who's 7 foot. And wait a minute, they're looking eye to eye here. 2 more for Bailey. He's got 37, 2 off his freshman record at Rutgers. And to the rim for 2 is Leach. 13.9 seconds to go. Bailey on the run. Bailey will back this one out. Northwestern is not going to foul, and this one is going to end. So Bailey's not going to tie his freshman record, but 37's not a bad night. More importantly, his team gets the 79-72 win on the road against the Northwestern Wildcats, just their 2nd loss at Welsh Ryan all season.
Great job by Rutgers coming in. The young pups are growing up in front of our eyes.
Now Ace Bailey with 37 points as Rutgers does not have Dylan Harper tonight, and they're able to withstand the loss of one of their best players to the ankle injury that's been plaguing him. They get 37 from Ace Bailey tonight, 13 for Tyson Acuff. In the loss, Northwestern with 23 from Leach, 16 and 10 rebounds from Martinelli, and Barnheiser 10 points, 9 rebounds, and 6 assists. Northwestern 3-7 in the league, 12-9 overall. The Scarlet Knights are 4-6 and 11-10 overall. That'll wrap it up from Evanston, where Rutgers defeats Northwestern by a final score of 79-72. We're sending you to our Chicago studios for Big Ten Live basketball postgame. For Stephen Bardo and our entire crew, I'm Kevin Kugler. So long from Evanston.